This video will show you how to sort a list using worksheet functions. Now in this example here I have a list of names and I'm going to sort them in alphabetical order using this worksheet function shown below. Now I could just do that using the sort command in Excel. However, let's say I want to keep my original list intact and I want my sorted list here. That's what this could be used for. Now just to show you how this works, or that it will work, is I'm going to go ahead and copy this function. Control C to copy it, come to cell B2, hit equals, Control V to paste it, and then hit Control Shift Enter, and there's my first list, my first name in alphabetical order. Copy it down and I get a complete list in alphabetical order of my original list. Now if that's all you need to know, go ahead and hit pause, copy this function down, or this formula down in row 12. Go ahead and make sure you hit Control Shift Enter when you put it in there, and you're done. Now if you want to understand why this works, and I will explain it to you in detail, keep watching. So we're going to go ahead and delete my function there and go to the count if column. Now in the count if column, I'm going to go ahead and type in count if, and what this will do is it's going to look at a range and compare it to a criteria. If I meet that criteria, it's going to count it. So I'll get a total count of how many in my array or my range meet that criteria. So my range is going to be my list of names that I want to sort. I'm going to hit the F4 key to lock it, a comma, and then my criteria. My criteria needs to be in a string format, so I'm going to hit the open quotes, I'll put a less than symbol, close my quotes, put the ampersand, and then my first name in my list, cell A2, close my parentheses, and hit enter. Okay, this is telling me that there are 5 names that come before Rebecca in my list. So 5 names alphabetically before Rebecca, so Rebecca would actually be the 6th name in alphabetical order. I'm going to go ahead and paste this down. And there you have it. Now you notice the 0 here is lined up with Amanda because Amanda is the first in alphabetical order. There are 0 names that come before Amanda in alphabetical order in this list. Okay, now you also notice that my formula does not look exactly like my formula I have here, and I will explain that when we get to that point because there are some differences that we have to do. So I'm going to go ahead and go to the row command. Now my row command is simply a counter that I'm going to use. What row will do is row will tell me where or what row a reference is, and my reference is going to be row 1, simply 1:1. Where is row 1? What row is that in? It's in row 1. So this is simply a counter for me. I'm going to paste this down, and now I have a counter of 1 through 7 using a worksheet function. The next function is the small function. I'm going to go ahead and hit small. And what this will do is it's going to look at an array and it's going to tell me what the smallest number in that array is if the k value is 1. If the k value is 2, it'll tell me what the second smallest number in that array is. If it's a 3, the third smallest, and so forth. So I'm going to go ahead and highlight my count if array, hit F4 to lock it, comma, and then I could put a 1 here. However, I'm going to refer to this one right here because this is my counter, cell D2, close my parentheses. Okay, and a 0. So that's telling me that a 0 is the smallest number in this array right here. So if I copy this down, I simply get 0 through 6. Now I could have put a counter that just started at 0 and gave me 0 through 6 simply by subtracting 1 from this here. However, that won't work if there are duplicate values in this list. It will work if there are no duplicates, and I can make this formula much simpler, but with duplicates it won't work. So this is a better way to do it, because if you have a duplicate name, it will still work. So for example, if I put David in here, I no longer get 0 through 6 because I have 2 Davids. So the second smallest and the third smallest numbers are the same, and I get a 1 here. So for duplicates, this is the way to go, and this will also work if there's no duplicates, so it's the better way to do it. So we'll just go ahead and put Bree back in here, and now I have my 0 through 6. Now what I'm going to do next is I'm going to combine these two functions into one formula. So I'm going to go ahead and hit small, and my array is this countif array that I'm going to highlight, hit F4 to make it absolute, comma, and then I'm going to go ahead and instead of referring to the number 1 in the row column, I'm going to go ahead and type in row, and I'm going to just use that row 1, 1:1, close my parentheses, close them again, and hit enter, and I've got the same thing I added here. Copy this down. Alright, now the small command isn't relying on column D anymore. I've got the row embedded in that function, as you can see here. Alright, the match command is next. I'm going to go ahead and hit equals match, open parentheses. Okay, what the match will do is it's going to look up a value, and it's going to tell me, it's going to look up that value in an array and tell me where it is in that array. So for this example, I want to look up the value to the left, which is the 0, which is telling me it's the smallest number in this countif column. So I'm going to go ahead and click on F2. I have F2 there, comma. Where do I want to look up F2? In this array right here. So I'm going to hit F4 to lock it, comma, and I want to match that 0 exactly, so I put a 0 for an exact match. Okay, so now this is telling me where's the smallest number. The smallest number is a 0, so where is that 0 in this countif array? I'm going to hit enter. I get a 6. That's telling me that the 0, which is the smallest number in this array, is in the 6th row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There it is. So I'm going to go ahead and copy this down, and now as you can see, the 1 is telling me where's the 5. The 5 is in the first row, and so forth. Okay, so now we're getting to index. I'll type in equals index, open parentheses. Okay, there are two syntaxes for index. We're going to be using the first one. The first one says, okay, give me an array and give me a row number, and I'll return the result. So if my array is this list of names and I want a row number, for example, this 6, what is the name in that sixth column, or in that 6th row? Well, as you can see, it's going to be Amanda, and that's going to be my first in alphabetical order. So I'm going to go ahead and say, okay, here's my array. I'm going to hit F4, comma, row number. Well, I'm going to use this match. Okay, that match is a 6. That 6 is telling me where is the smallest number, which is the 0, in this countif, which is the first alphabetical. Okay, so you follow that. The match, or the index, looks at this array and tells me where is the, or gives me a result of the 6th name. Well, the 6th name is the 0 here, which the 0 is the first name in alphabetical order because there's nothing less than Amanda in this list. So I'm going to go ahead and close my parentheses, hit enter, and I get Amanda. I copy this down, and I get the names in alphabetical order. Okay, we're not done yet. Alright, now I'm going to do the countif again, but a little bit differently, because you notice my syntax was a little bit different here. Now, if you notice, the small function and the match function use this countif array. Well, when I'm all done, I'm not going to have this countif array. This isn't going to exist anymore. The only thing I'm referring to in my in this formula here is this original list. So this countif doesn't exist. So I'm going to have to create it inside my formula. So the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to hit equals countif. Okay, my range right here, just like we had before, F4, comma, my criteria less than has to be in quotes, and then the ampersand, and this time I'm going to refer to the entire array using F4 to lock it. Okay, the reason I'm doing that now is this is going to do this for it's going to do this criteria for everything in this list here. Now I'm going to go ahead and close the parentheses. I'm going to hit enter. I'm going to copy this down, and you'll see I'm going to get the same results. Well, the reason I'm getting the same results is because I didn't make this an array type formula. Now to do that, what I need to do is come back in here in edit mode, and instead of hitting enter, I have to hit Control Shift Enter. All right, I still get the 5 here, but watch what happens when I copy this down. Now I get 5s all across. The reason I get 5s all across or all the way down is because it's only returning the first thing in the array. If I go ahead and look at this in detail, I go ahead and hit this, highlight the formula, hit the F9 key, you'll see that my result is actually an array. I'm only returning the first number in the array, but if I put this inside another formula, it will work off the array. Okay, do you understand that? It's important to know that because I won't have this count if array anymore when I'm all done. So I have to have that inside of my formula, and here it is. And remember to hit Control Shift Enter to make this work. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up my clipboard, clear it, and I'll go ahead and copy this and hit Control. Let's clear this list, and I'm going to hit Control C. So there's my count if saved. All right, now let's go to the small function. All right, equals small. Now, if you remember, small looked at this array right here, and I was trying to find the smallest thing in this array. However, I want to put that array in my formula, so I'm going to use this count if. I'll go ahead and paste that there, and hit a comma. And I need the row, or I need to find the first one, the second one, and so forth. So I'm going to use the row function. 1:1, close my parentheses, and one more parentheses to close, and hit enter. All right, now if you remember, I'm going to have to hit Control Shift Enter, not just enter, because there is an array embedded in here. So Control Shift Enter, and I get the 0 just like I had here. I'm going to go ahead and copy this down, and I get the same results that I did before. However, now I'm not relying on this count if array. I have that embedded in here now. All right, so I'm going to go on to the match function. Actually, first what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and copy this small function, Control C, and hit Control Shift Enter. All right, now I'm going to do the match function. So I type in equals match, open parentheses. All right, match is going to go ahead and find the small, which is the 0 in this case, or this 0 here. It's basically going to look for the 0 in this array, but don't forget this array is now embedded in there. So first I'm going to go ahead and paste the small command, or the small function here. Let's get this out of the way. All right, so there's the small function which uses the countif array. I'm going to hit the comma. Now I need the countif array. So basically, where is that 0 in this countif array? It's going to be the 6th one down, so I'm going to return Amanda here. So I go ahead and hit the countif. Let me paste the countif. There we go. And then a comma, 0 for an exact match. And close the parentheses and hit enter. Oh, can't hit enter. I have to go ahead and hit F2 to get in the edit mode. Control Shift Enter. Okay, because it's an array that we're dealing with. So I'll go ahead and paste this down. All right, so I got the same results I had here. Now I'm going to go ahead and copy this match function. Hit Control C. I have it on my clipboard. Escape out of this. Okay, so now here I'm going to do my index. Okay, index is going to use the first syntax here. I'm going to look at my array, which is my original list, F4 to lock it, comma, and then my match, which is telling me, okay, the first one, I want the 6th one, which is Amanda, the first in the alphabetical order. The next one down is going to be a 3, which is 1, 2, 3, Bree, which is the 2nd in alphabetical order. So I'm just going to go ahead and paste that match command, or that match function. Go ahead and close my parentheses and hit enter. Oh, once again, can't hit enter. I got to hit Control Shift Enter. So I'll get back in edit mode, Control Shift Enter, and now I have Amanda. I can go ahead and copy this down. I can get rid of all this, and there you have it. There is this function. I showed you how it works. I explained it to you step by step. I hope you understand it. If you have any questions, comment down below. Thank you.